died a crib death, in a month, like those souls made a deal before they came here, God, they told God, yo, I want to incarnate on earth, and I want to incarnate as a being who died in a month, and God's like, are you sure, bro? Like, you don't have to. I can send you as someone with a normal life. He's like, no, because I know that my death will have a bigger impact. My short life will have a great message than if I had a long life. And they do that. That's the deal they make,
But like you think like they already know that somebody like there's like a wall and it's like, okay, this family has to lose somebody, a baby.
Yeah.
And then you like, okay, I want this assignment.
Yeah.
I'll take this. And they're like, you sure, bro?
Yeah, basically. But you don't know. When you're here, you forget. But you made this deal.
Right.
Oftentimes
we forget, but in their situations sometimes, and I wonder if it's like a little glitch or something where kids remember their past lives or something. Well, and then they.
Well, kids are still pretty fresh. Like some of them can probably, if kids could somehow teach themselves how to deeply meditate and stuff, they could probably find some past life regressions really easily.
See, you know how they say like, well, some people say that cats are like here and in another dimension.
Yeah, I told you that. They're half in, half out.
I think kids are like that as well.
Half in, half out?
Yeah, until the world beats it out of them.
That's why these people, these satanic people do this to them. The kids. That's why they fuck kids. That's why they torture kids. That's why they kill kids. Because the energy you get from a child.
So
powerful.
powerful.
To a child. Yes, a child's...
So like, pure, the energy.
Yeah, their energy is so powerful. You know what I'm saying? They're
bro.
just trying to eat this. These are literally a bunch of demons eating a bunch of angels. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? But one opinion of mine is that what if all these kids who are tortured and trafficked are people who trafficked and tortured in the past life? And it's just a cycle of...
Like they got the same situation with the other side. They're like, hey, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do this again.
Yeah,
but in another situation.
Some souls never learn. Some souls have to go thousands of times over and over before they finally realize, oh, I've been a bad person. I've been, I need to change my ways. Even if you come back here until you figure it out, bro. This is not the school system. It's not, every child has to, whatever they call it.
No child left behind.
Yeah, no, fuck you, bro. You'll be 100 years old in that kindergarten class if you have to be. Because you're gonna learn.
In the universal kindergarten class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hard when imagine that you have to these kids have to learn, but they have to learn by going up to you and say, I want to learn, and I want to learn this. Everything has to be there for free will. So how long you think they're going for a while? Yeah. For a while before they finally like, maybe I should try to make my. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How long until that thought happens?
Right.
Exactly.
So on a universal spiritual level, it could take.
Some of these people just
lifetime.
Some of these people love controlling. So some of these people, the evil in them just doesn't die out. If another thing I heard is that if you were murdered or if you died, if your death was from a strong emotional thing, right? You're gonna come back remembering that. Like if you were a murderer, like if you're a pedophile who killed a lot of people and you went to jail and you were executed with no regret, you're gonna come back with that same evil.
You think they come back? You don't think they come back like animals?
That's possible.
And then they suffer.
But the point is that evil never dies. They might come back as animals, but they'll be violent animals. You know what I'm saying?
You think so? Like that's just how they're created.
Yeah, like that evil, that hates, it's not gonna go away until you decide it's gonna go away. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, well, I guess I'll just die now and I'll come back and I'll be smarter. No, bro. You're gonna come back and it's gonna be even harder. You know what I'm saying? Because the more, it's like I always tell Romo and Cynthia, it's like, as far as examples, right? Like, the more you know, the more you're expected to do, right? How I tell Romo and Cynthia, I expect certain things out of y'all two that I don't expect out of other people. Why? Because you guys know more. You've been around me more. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way. Once you're aware of that kind of stuff, like, oh, I've been living bad or I've been living evil, you can't run from it. You have to change it, bro. Basically, there is no.
I literally went through that in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Because like for a period of time, I was like doing kind of evil, It was just sexual deviancy and stuff and cheating and stuff, but that was kind of evil energy.
You were following you were the ministry of darkness over there. You know what I'm saying?
Was that street?
Nah, that was
Diagon Alley?
Dinner Chicker's old crew. You say you were a Death Eater. That was but Ministry of Darkness was like back in the day. Undertaker, that was like his crew. They were like, they were satanic. They crucified Stone Cold one time. It was fucking
Word.
Yeah, bro. These people were satanic as fuck. You know, like I don't know how they got away with it, but they did. They got away with it.
Well, that was the '90s, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of shit in the '90s that was like just they got away with.
Well, yeah, basically, yeah. You know, you can say like once you realize that I've been doing bad, like yeah, bro, there is no other option except to change. You know, you're like, well, I just live out there. It's karma. No, bitch, it's gonna be worse. Once you know, you can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, if think about it, if even the worst of us is a soldier, whatever, an emissary of God, right? We were sitting here under God's name, you know, in His law, and then we wake up to the fact that we're doing evil. Like, yeah, bro, like you start to realize that, oh yeah, because we all have a bigger responsibility than we thought. We're all here. I always tell Cynthia that this whole world is like this. It's like a giant warehouse where no one knows that they're here to do a job. They just really walk around all in the warehouse, just like looking around, like. You know you have some work to do here, right?
There's a few people here and there that are like fucking focused.
What do you mean? Bro, you got work to do. For what? Well, all I care about is myself, see? Once you start to care about everybody else in this warehouse, then maybe shit starts to work different for you. But until then, you're going to be walking around by yourself around the aisles, just you know.
Yeah, bro. You can't live.
And
as cool as it sounds.
Yeah. And we've had this discussion with you, you know, like, you know, every time a female comes around, I tell you, well, Chris, look, if we're going to be serious about ever allowing a female in our lives, there's probably some shit we need to address, you know, before we allow or try to take, you know.
It's another responsibility.
Yeah, it's like how we said, she might have a lot of baggage, because we know we have a lot of baggage, my guy.
Right.
That's the problem there. We know we have baggage.
We have
maybe
probably more baggage.
Maybe we should try to lighten this load before we just drop it on somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know we're eager to drop it on somebody, but you know what? It's not, we don't want to be known as someone that nigga has issues. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to say, I had issues, let me tell you about them, and tell you how I clean them up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Shit, goals, man. This summer, maybe, you know.
Yeah, bro. 6 weeks, bro. You can do all that shit, bro. You confront your fears. You can get in the shade. You can do all kinds of shit. You can reduce your weed usage. You can learn how to spread your money out.
Well, see, all right. That's a lot of things.
You're like, hold on, bro.
Hold on. I got one big thing in my mind right now that I gotta give up eventually.
What's that?
The pornography.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, bro. I mean, you're talking to a guy that did the same thing, bro, and I know it's hard.
It's deep, bro.
It is. It is, man. It's fucking. Oh.
It's like I can't even see the sky anymore from this deep hole.
I'm so under a cloud right now.
Of titties and ass.
Oh, man.
Vaginas.
I can't blame you, bro. I know. Look, like I told everybody, I know it's a nice place to be. It's a nice place.
And I feel like if I'm with somebody that I love, then I won't need that stuff, right?
You see, don't just say it like that, because the universe will prove you wrong very fast. Don't just think that someone's gonna come along and like make my life better. No, only you're gonna make your life better. Remember that. Remember that.
Right. Word up, yo. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You want to eat?
Nah, I'm okay.
Fuck.
Alright, yo. This is 59 of the iPod with the OGI squad.
Yo.
Smoking on some King Bubba.
Yeah.
Ain't here to cause no trouble. And I'm gonna ask Vino a couple questions. And the first question.
That's his episode, right? You're gonna ask him some questions?
Yeah.
Why would you ask your questions? Tell people why, first of all.
Because you are a spiritual guide.
That's what they say.
In our lives.
That's what they say.
Let me hit this real quick.
I should probably turn that down. Let me see that. Let me see that red phone.
All right. My first question is, what is the meaning
of life? This guy. The meaning of life, Chris, is to live it. Remember, we just heard oscillate.
Yeah, but what is it like?
All right, let's look up the definition. I'm gonna look it up real quick. The word oscillate. I just told you oscillate, so let's see. Okay. So, I mean, but I guess in
in short terms is just it's okay. Look, oscillate means to move or swing back and forth at a regular speed. Vary in magnitude or position in a regular manner or at a central point. So like an orbit, like orbit around, like how stars and planets and all this shit moves, right?
Correct.
Be like that constantly.
Well, that's what our atoms are doing, right?
Yeah,
that's
constantly moving. Yeah.
I mean, if you look, and I was like, if you look at the big picture, everything looks like the atoms, right, in the big form.
Yeah. Everything
looks like if you look at these galaxies or whatever. Supposedly, they look like brain cells and shit. Like everything, like it's like if we're our own fucking like a universe within us and shit. Which is kind of odd because we got like bacteria and shit that live in us, stuff like that.
Yeah. You have a whole living universe inside you. You are a walking universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's podcast. That's a good podcast. I enjoyed this episode thoroughly.
Second question. What is your main goal in life?
Damn, I thought you were asking like spiritual questions, not me questions.
Alright, well, what should be the main goal in life for people?
To become, well, this is my, I should preface everything with this is my 2 cents, right? I think the purpose to be here is to become the best version of yourself, and then you help others around you become the best version of themselves too. Hey, shut the blinds, it's getting hot now. Feel the body. Oh wait, this is probably another hit. Here you
go. Alright. Do you think like every person should be in a relationship? Nah. By the time they're a certain age?
Hell no, bro. Hell no.
So you think like it's so? But don't they suffer though?
What do you mean suffer as in how? Like being alone?
You get real old and you didn't have nobody to live like.
Well, I would hope that if you got real old and you remain single that long, that you found a way to manage and be single. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I hope you're not still, like I get it how some people in their 20s and 30s could be like, oh, I'm just searching for love and I wish I could find it, but. If you hit 40 and 50 and you haven't managed to find it, like I hope you kind of switched it up. It's kind of like the person who keeps on trying to. It's hard to explain it, bro. It's like you're meant for this, but you keep on trying to be something else. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like maybe you were meant to roll solo dolo, but you keep on missing the point and keep on crying about what you don't have. You're basically crying about what you don't have and ignoring what you do have. A lot of people who have relationships and they're married will tell you, bro, peace and quiet is nice. Sometimes not dealing with that person is nice. Sometimes just having to worry about you is better. You know what I'm saying? In the same way that single people would say, but I would love to be with somebody. Being alone sucks. It's yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the one who's been married for a few years, and you're the one who's been single. And we both could tell each other things about, and then we could shoot each other down. Like, David, nah, bro, you don't miss that.
What do you think? What do you think is better?
Oh, I don't know. It's the person. Depends on the person, right? Like, for example, there are people who just they gotta love. They gotta have someone there to love, right? And there's people who are about themselves and don't mind being alone. You know what I'm saying? And they don't necessarily miss company too much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't think either is good or bad. I think it's bad if you're stuck in an abusive relationship. You might as well be single. You know what I'm saying?
Find yourself, love yourself.
Yeah, better to be like for example, like my boy Romo, he came out of a relationship where we look at it as like if he had stayed in it, he might be happy, but he also might have turned to his girl's bitch by now. You know what I'm saying? By now, you would have been at her thumb. I wouldn't have been able to grow on my own.
You know what? That's how I would have been with one of my exes because there were so many years or so much time.
So see, think about it. If Romo could choose, like, okay, maybe I would have stayed with her, but I'd be your bitch, or maybe I take a little break and I go become my own. What would you rather have?
Wait, what?
See, he'd rather be his own. He would not rather be anyone's bitch, right?
That's what he chose.
Hold on.
Right, has this guy even been in the room?
I have been zoned out.
Would you prefer? Okay. Looking back at like relationships, would you? I'm pretty sure the answer is obvious. I'm gonna repeat it. You would prefer to say, I prefer to be alone but in control of myself completely, than to say I'm in a relationship but someone else is running it.
Oh yeah.
See?
It's easy as can be.
Exactly. So even. Oh, go ahead.
No,
I don't want
to. I was gonna say it's for me it's a sick core belief system. I'm just not gonna change that. And having somebody else having control over me is not
That's
okay
not
with
right.
me, period.
That's not right.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see myself years on, being that way. No, it was any time, and I was having trouble with it.
So many like.
And it's like I told you too. You said, well, fuck. What I said earlier about being with someone, but you'd rather be happy. Fuck.
But
Do you
you'd
remember?
rather be happy.
Do you
I
remember?
would like to be happy with someone, but I think I gotta perfect myself first. But I'm such a procrastinator.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
everything.
I said that some people think that like someone in my having a relationship is someone will fix my problems for me. Someone will fix me. Yeah,
Right.
you can't be thinking like that.
Right.
No one's gonna fix you but you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's not like.
I think that the other person would help, but
Yeah.
they shouldn't be your
Yeah.
only.
Don't just
dependent.
say, "Here's all my problems."
Fix
Here.
them.
Yeah. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, for sure.
It should be a willingness of the two,
Yeah.
especially the one person to want to fix their own damn problem.
Yeah. Hopefully they do.
But there are a lot
Right.
of people that don't.
Exactly.
Right. They just decide to live with their issues.
Mhm.
So, what's the difference between wisdom and knowledge?
Well, wisdom and knowledge. I would say that. Oh, wisdom is accrued through time. You accrue wisdom through fucking up. Knowledge is just stuff that you probably got in a book or you heard from somebody or you might have gotten out of a lecture.
Okay.
True wisdom is experience. True wisdom is having done it and through it. That's why so many of these people fresh out of school, whether they be doctors, scientists, chefs, mechanics, you really don't know shit. You really don't know shit because you ain't done
They're
nothing.
not wise yet.
Yeah, you're not wise. You're smart, but you're not wise.
Right. Yeah, and there's people who I feel like there's some people who are younger that are wiser than some people that are older.
Oh hell yeah!
Like they live more
yeah.
time in smaller amounts of time than some other people.
Or they just learn faster.
They
Like
had
some,
to.
like some people can learn from watching other people's mistakes. Some people have to learn by it happening all to them.
Right. Well, yeah, I just imagine somebody like suffering, like being born, being poor, and then just like I'm imagining like the worst of situations, and then they come up. When I forgot where I was going with
All right, next question.
it. Let's see. You got any questions from spiritual questions? Oh yeah. So I asked you earlier. Maybe you can run it back because sometimes it takes a while for me to absorb information.
Yeah.
But I asked you because we were talking about like the beginning, and I was like, or gods and otherworldly beings, and
Yeah.
and I was like the sons of man, or that's what they would call them in the Bible for some reason.
Are we on a history lesson or something?
The gods. Well, it's more of a spiritual.
He's got
thing.
a question coming. He's got a question.
Yeah. So do you think they were?
Here he goes. He's peddling.
You think they were aliens?
There you go. Who?
The guys who came and did it with the women and stuff, and they were killing people. Controlling
Do
them.
I think they
That's
were? Do I think they were aliens? I think they were probably not of this planet originally.
Right.
I don't think. I think if you looked at them, you wouldn't say they're aliens. I think they. In my opinion, if it says that God made the universe in His image, then probably most quote unquote aliens look like us. Look like humans. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and from some like I guess you could call it pseudo history. People say, you hear rumors that you hear stories that people say that back then these beings who showed up were tall and white, like pale skin. You know what I'm saying? And they had blonde hair and blue eyes, and they were, smart and powerful and all this stuff. So, as far as like how you're thinking, how most people would say the aliens come,
So those are like the Asgardians.
Yeah.
Right? Those talk because they also look like Vikings and shit. So
yeah.
some of them probably
Imagine they were
had
bad.
intercourse with some humans.
Yeah, imagine those were like they were more steered towards bad, towards doing bad and controlling.
Right. So it's totally possible that Ragnar Lothbrok could be a descendant of Odin. If Odin was like, somebody that came in.
Oh, you want to go there? Okay, you need to first of all.
Right.
So you talk about. So you think I told you this theory about Thor and the whole Asgardians. That the theory is that they were actually good aliens that came to this planet to help rid us of the, what do you want to call it, reptilian beings or bad Vikings, whatever you want to call it. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not that Thor was some god. He was a dude with the fleet in a spaceship coming down. You know, everything has to do. Think about it, everything that they do has to do with like throwing lightning or throwing weapons or flying through the fucking air. They have wings on their helmets. You know what I'm saying? Like you know,
it's all manipulation of energy. If we're all just sound vibrations and shit.
Oh damn! Look at you getting on. Look at you.
But all right. So
aliens, yes, but not in the sense. Not these.
So the grays that people have. Do you think those are just? That's how they portray themselves. Like they have the ability to portray themselves.
So here's something I heard about the Greys, and this will spill into reptilian territory. So there is a theory about all these aliens that all of them, if not most of them, are the ones that visit here. The ones that visit Earth are actually us, but in the future, in like 20,000, 50,000 years in the future. Mm. But what happened is that in that future, we fucked up the world and we ruined it to the point where we had to live underground and we changed completely. We didn't have colored skin. We had gray skin.
We moved into
the caves, the underground system.
Well, not the inner Earth.
Well, it's the same shit. Inner Earth, you know, is basically the dumb. Yeah, the dumb. The dumbs are built in inner Earth. You know what I'm saying?
With the black sun.
Yeah, when I say dumbs, I mean the deep underground military bunkers. That's what that stands for. That's what that stands for. In case people, but. That's the theory that in the future we fucked up the world so bad that certain humans, probably the elites, will had to hide underground just to survive, and they became gray and they became sickly looking and they had big eyes because they had to adjust to the underground. And in order to try and fix things, they time traveled back here, back to Roswell, back to all that shit. And some of them, here's also where it splits off into an even more crazy theory. It said that there's two factions of these time traveling aliens, maybe even more. But there's a faction that's trying to fix this thing so that so that this doesn't happen again. But there's also a faction that is coming back to try and continue to let things fuck up because they want to justify it. In the end, they want to be able to say, we didn't fuck up. It was going to happen anyway. It was fate. You know what I'm saying? Mm. And so that's the thing.
They're just there to cause chaos.
So when you talk about grays, some people will say that the grays are just us thousands of years in the future. And remember how I said that a lot of these grays were people who lived underground, you know, for who knows how many years, and that's how their whole body morphed into this look whatever thing. The reptilians is what I hear is that's what they look like only if you look at them in a certain light, because they're sickly. These beings are dying. These beings in the future are not healthy. So when you find them, that's why they're tiny and they're all fucked up and malnourished and shit, because they're dying in the future. Remember, they fucked up. They fucked up the Earth. They fucked it up. You know what I'm saying? So some people will say that it's not so much that they are reptilian. It's just that when you look at them in a certain light, and especially you've never seen a fucking alien in your life, right? You've never seen a gray. You see a gray in a certain light, and he opens his mouth, and he looks like he's slimy. You might think that's a fucking reptile, man. And remember, here, most of us have already been programmed to think about reptilians.
Why?
Because that's how they put it in the alien things.
In the media, right?
Yeah, people believe that shit, you know?
It's always reptile.
That fucker David Icke, he's been talking about reptilians since the 80s or 70s, you know what I'm saying?
You think they're one and the same.
It's been put in the mass consciousness.
I saw a video that it's like a gray dude, and he says that I'm from the future.
See, there you go. It's a theory. I mean, it's a theory. You know, everything's a theory here. I'm not.
So time travel, I think it's possible.
Yes.
And then also I believe, and I don't know. All right. So something cool was, I don't know. This is kind of getting off topic, but
there is no topic subject.
A lot of stuff I learned from you, and I learned from my homegirl Crystal.
Good friend.
Yeah. And Roma too. I learned a lot of stuff from people in my life, right? But when I learned something, I also passed it on to my sister. So I learned about synchronicities, and when I introduced her to synchronicities, she had never heard that before. And then all of a sudden,
she started getting
synchronicities. And then I introduced her to like angel numbers and stuff like that. And then what is it? And then she started seeing a bunch of angel numbers and stuff. And she said, like, when she was younger, you know, she always wanted, like, God to speak to her. And now it's like, whoa, like, she realized And also, I did, like, because I started talking about, and she kind of went a different route, you know, but we ended up talking about energy and how we can manifest stuff, and we're just a lot more powerful. We can control, like fear causes sickness and stuff, right? And so if you know, we have a lot of power that we're not told.
Most negative emotions can cause sickness if you
Right.
know that they're not addressed. Yeah.
Right, cancers and shit.
Yeah.
And then so she told me, like, and it was weird when she told me. She was like, "You're special."
Who told you? Your sister?
My sister, yeah.
Like she said those exact words. You're special.
Yeah.
Wow. That did you feel special when she told you that?
Yeah. And so I just made like a joke, like I was like, "Yeah, I know," but I think we're all special. But maybe we, like, people, like, I think we all have a connection, like the people that I'm close to.
That's it.
I mean, we're just happen to be enlightened.
Yeah, like, you know, like, I was talking to Cynthia, my wife, about this, you know, a lot. I say, it's funny how the people who are brought into my life, like are all people who...
We're ready to learn.
Yes, like, basically are people who need to be filled with information, you know.
And then we're able to, like, pass it on as well.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Jedi.
like it's cool, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, you know, like, it's very nice that, it's synchronicities. That's basically what that is. My bad,
It's crazy how the universe can just speak to you like that.
Yeah.
And then it's just affirmations, like when sometimes like little earthly petty things like traffic and just
Work,
yeah, definitely work. Bills, money,
Relationships.
all this shit that doesn't really exist. It exists, and we have to, like, you know, go about it. But in the end, we should know it's not that important. It's not like controlling what's going to happen to us on the next level.
If you don't let it, right? If you don't let it, because
If you don't let it.
a lot of people do. They magnify these little things and make it the worst thing ever. Like right now,
They'll do anything to make money.
Also they'll do anything to make a situation bad. Like back, like in the past 4 years, you had people who would blame Trump for everything. And now you got people who are doing the same with Biden. You know, some people think my world is shitty because Biden's president. Just like there are people who are like, my world is shitty because Trump is president. You know, it's
Right.
all
My
about.
world is shitty because Biden's president. Ever since he became president, my world's been shitty.
This ain't the political podcast. Anyhow,
Okay, some prices went up, but that could be like just his party though. Not necessarily one president.
but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's all about perspective and how you take it. All right?
can't control.
That's it. Sit, something else. Sit.
All right.
He'll wake up for that, huh? This motherfucker right here.
Why is DC your favorite over Marvel?
DC, my favorite. Oh, because I think the characters are more real, bro. I thought you were talking about Washington DC. I'm like, what? No, bro. Because in my opinion, from what I've read, like the characters, in my opinion, are more real. Like for example, Batman had to come up from a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? He found a lot of people too, like his whole crew are people who have gone through traumatic shit. Most of the guys. Barbara didn't really go through anything horrible, unless you count the Killing Joke. But the Killing Joke isn't canon. Like it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
They don't flash back in every arc, right?
Right.
But you know.
But a lot of things aren't. I mean, they do that in Marvel. Like some things aren't canon. Like they're just separate.
But like, can you name me one character? Because I could be wrong. I'm not talking shit. I'm being legit.
No, well, before we get, I want to ask you about Hal Jordan. What was his thing?
The Flash?
No, I thought he was
someone-
Lantern.
Who?
The Green Lantern.
Oh, Hal. Okay, yeah, the
'Cause
white
he had
guy,
something
not the black
traumatic,
one.
too.
The white one, not the black
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about?
Like, what was his backstory?
Oh, they were all.
Everybody's got something.
Yeah, like they were all basically working for the Navy here. You know what I'm saying? Because they eventually went into space. You know what I'm saying? Like also Green Lanterns might be coded because you know most of Space Force is made up of guys from the Navy. Some people say that the spaceships are just big Navy air tank, you know, that carry all the ships, just made to fly in the air. That's what you see up there. Right. Giant Navy tankers that instead of boats in the water.
I mean, he's not wrong.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they look.
When they portray him in Star Wars, that's kind of like what they portray him as.
I mean, what is that stupid thing in Avengers if not a giant naval carrier in the air that their little headquarters at the Avengers?
No, yeah, definitely.
That's a giant naval carrier.
Probably a combination with Air Force, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Also,
probably space fighters
also
or
to extend on your question, because I don't lose track. DC also had a lot of side brands, like adult side brands in the 90s that wrote some of the best shit I ever read. Like the Punisher, there was a Triple X Punisher.
No, Punisher's Marvel though.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, you're right. Then was it Marvel? Or am I thinking about another character here? I guess you're right.
Punisher's probably like their most DC character.
Wait a minute.
Right? Like,
So if I read an adult Punisher, because you're right. That's interesting. I think Marvel had an adult one too then.
Yeah, they had some. There was a period of time, but they copy each other, and Marvel takes a lot from DC.
Oh yeah, like
Deadpool was taken from DC.
Yeah, they admit
Moon Knight was
yeah.
taken from DC. It's just a lighter version of it.
But right now, I'll be honest.
They need each other.
Right now, I dipped myself into the comic book world yesterday a little bit, DC, and man, DC is doing just as bad, bro. Those stories over there are ass right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, DC.
Well, the Meta one just wrapped up.
Yeah, but those stories are ass.
Yeah.
Like it's all very, very PC, very just predictable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, ooh, this is what DC's turning into. You know, whatever. You know, what can you do?
They gotta make money.
They do.
I think that's gonna end up like even. I hope not, but even with like the Turtles that I'm reading, which is on IDW and a lot of Marvel shit,
But
probably gonna be super PC.
My favorite comic writer that worked for DC, Scott Snyder. That's his name, right? Yeah, Zack Snyder is the director of the movie. Yeah, Scott Snyder is the comic writer.
Bro, are they related?
Okay, no, maybe not. I don't think so. It's funny they both did for DC, though, right? Yeah, but Scott Snyder, in my opinion, he could outright anything that anybody at Marvel ever did. You know what I'm saying? He's my favorite writer, period. Because not only is he able to do, he revived Batman with the New 52. When that came about, he revived a lot of good series, and he also had this series on the side called American Vampire. Man, I talked about it in the combo podcast. You know.
I got this theory. So you know how I've heard it from Alex Jones that people would like take DMT. Is it DMT? Yeah, DMT, or they have to flatline after a while, which they like basically you die, but they can bring you back to talk to some other entities, and that's how they bring back some knowledge of like technology and shit, right? What if writers and artists for like comic books
Oh, because
and
we
movies
talked about those. Okay.
do that, and they get stories like from real fucking like shit that actually happened.
Yeah.
And that's why we get all these crazy, like, how do they keep coming up with these fucking stories?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, that could be true. That could be very true. Because, to stay original, ain't no lie. To keep on coming up with new stories,
Bro, it's
new
almost
premises.
like, fuck. Like, years and years and years.
And they still do it. They still come up with new characters. They come up with new premises. And you're right. You know, maybe some of it is like I said.
Like, it's already happened.
Like I said earlier, they're universal download. You know what I'm saying?
When did you know you were awakened? You were conscious?
I don't even know. I guess after my third mushroom trip, I said, damn, I know some shit. You know
But
what I'm
it was a
saying?
process, right? Like, first you got, like, in shape physically?
Nah. First, you have to clean up the inside to get the outside clean. Yeah, it's.
What do you mean, like the mind?
Yeah, mind, spirit, all that shit. You know, you have to do that first before the outside will look good. You know what I'm saying? Because they both reflect each other. You know, so you could be working out every day and in shape on the outside, but if on the inside you're a mess, your outside will eventually show that. You know what I'm saying?
Like in the face or something.
Yeah. Motherfuckers won't look right. You know what I'm saying?
I had something. Gucci. No, I had something. You got anything?
Hell no! Look at him. He's over there.
You
I
got anything?
thought you just woke up.
I just woke up, so I wasn't ready to record anything. I had no questions.
That one thing he did say was solid though.
What'd he say?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. It
We'll go back and listen to it.
had to do with like relationships.
You want to wrap this one?
Yeah, I'm just.
All right, we'll just call this one Asking Vino Shit 1. Hey, that was not bad. Almost
Not
30
bad
minutes.
at all, man. Love y'all.
Yeah,